Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Music Scene Investigation. Rich Wildman here. Glad to have you along with us today. Back after a short hiatus, a long hiatus, however you want to look at it. We had some bandwidth issues last week, which prevented us from broadcasting, but I think we're back up today, and I hope everything's better. From looking at the bandwidth right now, it looks like it's going to a crawl. So what I'm going to do here is click a button and see if I can do something else. Now, today's show is brought to you by the letter P. That means playing indie music, and we review indie music right here on MSI. We're happy to do it, and we want to encourage any indie artist out there around the world to submit their music to Music Scene Investigation. Go to musicsceneinvestigation.com, where you can find the Submit Your Song or Submit a Song button at the top of the page. Please click on that button and just send us your music so we can review it. We do that free of charge for anyone who is willing to put their music under the microscope. And when I say microscope, I mean our panel of experts. Our panel of experts consists of two in-house panelists. Ian Husbands from London, England. Ian, how are you today, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Rich?
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you very much.
Just to clear something up, when you say bandwidth issues, you don't mean obese musicians, do you?
No, I really don't. No.
Just to clear this up for the audience who aren't that tech savvy.
No, of course, if they're watching us, they are pretty tech savvy to be able to see us on the internet. But what we do is we have everything going out, internet connections all over the place. I got more wires in this studio than anybody can shake a stick at. So just want to let you know about that. We have upgraded our picture quality a bit, which is due in part to the kids over at Telestream. We are thankful to them because of that. So, Ian, I know you've been busy gigging this week. You want to tell us about it?
Yeah, I was out at a pub called the Royal Oak last night, which is a rather large venue. I'm very tired. We played a very, 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 very good gig. And we even had our own troupe of backing dancers in the last 15-minute song that we do.
Backing dancers?
Yep, all the girls who came down to see the band decided to come join us on stage, and they danced for about 15 minutes while we done a medley of very cheesy songs.
Well, that's very cool and very interesting, I think. So,
well, did anybody get any video?
I hope so. I'd like to see it again.
And that voice, by the way, is our very own Tom Chianti, recording engineer in New York City. Tom, how are you today?
I am fine, sir. Thank you very much for asking.
Now, I know that you've been busy as well. You're not just sitting around all day long. You're actually in studio recording most of the time.
Yes, we're starting. I'm on a burner. My better half and better listen to half. We're starting another CD for her, and so we're recording like half a dozen songs all at once and arranging, and you know, the usual pre-production that goes craziness that goes on. Plus we're doing sound for a feature-length cartoon animation, excuse me. We must make it sound as classy as possible. This is not no Popeye deal going on here.
And above all that, the studio is still open for others who might want to come in and record with you as well, right?
My door is open for anyone with the big dollar.
Oh, there you go. That's always good to know. And I appreciate both of you being here today with us on MSI. As always, you're here every week. I shouldn't say I appreciate you every time, then you'll get a big head. But we want to really show our appreciation to our guest panelist who's with us today. He's been busier than a one-armed paper hanger. I know it because I can see it when I look at his picture on Skype here today. Is owner of Carrera Drums. Dave Carrera is with us today. And Dave, I know that you've been busy. What have you been up to since last time we talked to you?
Well, hi. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, absolutely.
I know it's a bit late. Well, we've just been mad busy selling primarily drum shells, as you can see behind me here. That's our core business anyway. And as I mentioned earlier, pre-show, we've managed to now sell into all 5 continents. So we are legitimately worldwide.
Well, congratulations. Now, when you when you say you're selling these drum cores that we see behind you, we talked about it during the pre-show. You were telling us a couple of the different woods that were used and the different types of woods that were used. Why don't you tell us about that again? And also, can you explain the process of putting something like that together? I mean, you're not going out and finding a huge diameter tree and just coring out the inside.
No. Yeah, well, this one up here is what most probably people who are used to drums and drumming. It's a maple shell. It's American hard rock maple, the same as bigger companies than me use over in America to make drum shells. And I don't know if you can get this on the bearing edge, the edge there. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if my camera's any good. But it's made up of 0.6 of a mil. I don't know what that is in old money. Plies, veneers, okay? Mm-hmm. And they're put together in a particular way that obviously gives you a solid shell. And they're cross-laminated. So where are we? If you can find it. Right, so there's the outside seam there. Okay?
Okay.
Right? And so each layer will have the seam somewhere else in the shell. Okay?
Okay.
So it's cross-laminated. And of course, we've got a grain going horizontal and vertical within the shell. Okay? Mm-hmm. And that gives it its strength. You know, it's really, really, really strong. And will keep round for, well, as long as we need it, as long as we're going to be alive anyway. You know?
Right.
So that's a standard maple shell, right, that most people would know. Most people's drums, if they're wooden, probably will be this, okay?
All right.
So that's from your neck of the woods.
Okay.
All right. Here's one for the guitarists. Here's one from the guitarists that might know. The bird's eye maple. A lot of guitars have bird's eye maple. And a lot of quality drums have a bird's eye maple, which is a different cut, a different way the wood's made, the wood's cut, into veneers. And this is inside and out. So it's bird's eye maple in there and bird's eye maple there with American maple in between. And made exactly the same way. It's just we do pre-process before that to get the thing. Yes.
Is a bird's eye maple made from a tree cut down with a herring?
No, it's cut down with a swan.
I thought Captain Birdseye Fish, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, because we're not very far from the Queen's house in Windsor. You know those swans that keep going missing.
Yeah, that's you.
That's me. Yeah.
Got to have replacement blades.
Every time I make a bird's eye maple shell, there's another one gone.
Now that next core behind you.
This one is for our friends in Australia.
Okay.
Same one. It's maple again inside, right? But the outside veneer is eucalyptus for the koalas.
Amazing. It's a pretty wood.
Yeah, it's very nice. When you see it with a finish on it, like an oil or French polish or lacquer, our high gloss lacquer, it is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning.
I can believe that just from looking at what you have there.
And then, of course, we've got our other 2 woods, which I don't have a sample of here right this second, which is birch, which is what we make all our primary drums out of because, we do. And mahogany, African mahogany.
Yeah, I bet those are beautiful as well. Now,
I've got about 4 or 5 shell packs downstairs ready to go out. Yeah, they're stunning. They're beautiful.
If I ever get to England, one of the first stops I make, after getting to Ian's house and slapping him across the shoulders and head, I'm coming to your shop. I want to see this whole process.
He's so close to me where I am right this second. He's so close down the road, that I'd probably hear you slap him.
We'll go together.
We'll
still put that around here.
Yeah, we'll put
Ian knows exactly where I am, and I'm very, very. It's literally. How far is it, Ian? It's not far, is it?
about 5 minutes drive. The gun sights are aimed.
Exactly. The red dots on the.
when we last talked to you, you were getting ready to head out to NAMM, or actually, you had a group of people getting ready to head over to NAMM. And I just want to touch base with you again on that. How did everything go there at NAMM for you guys?
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I couldn't have asked for better. Our friends at Porter and Davis, who make a product called the BC2, which is a drum throne that vibrates each time you hit the bass drum, so you get a feel through your bum, for how you're hitting the bass drum, which can, in certain gig situations, drummers can lose the sense of where the bass drum is. Yeah, so if you get this monitoring system through where you're sitting, you actually start to feel where you're at, and you actually start playing better. And they kindly took out 2 Terrier snare drums to America for us in NAMM. Went down a storm, got some great feedback from people, and now they're with Vic Firth Drumsticks in their LA office. And I'm very bad, I've forgotten the name, but I think it's Angel Backline or something, again in LA, who do backline supply for big tours in America.
Wow, and it sounds like you've just been so busy between NAMM, drum corps, and everything else. Now you've got the Olympics coming up, and I asked you in the pre-show about this. Any chance we're going to be seeing Carrera Drums in the Olympic opening or closing ceremonies?
Well, as I said, Mike, who works here, managed to secure a spot as one of the 1,000 snare drummers. They're going to be, I think it's the opening ceremony. It won't be the closing, will it? Because that'll be the next country. So yeah, it'll be one of the opening ceremonies. So he'll be playing a snare drum. Hopefully, it'll be a Carrera one. And as we said, he will be having a tattoo across his forehead with Carrera, www.carreradrums.com. He will be having it across his chest. I think that was your suggestion, Rich. So, we'll be trying to get as much mileage out of that as possible. Well, and if we can, and if anyone's involved and is listening, we would love to supply some of the snare drums.
I think that's a great idea. I really do.
How proud would that be? I'd be proud as punch.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of being proud, why don't we see if we can make some of the indie artists who have submitted their music to MSI. Let's see if we can do them proud as well, gentlemen. We have 3 songs lined up for you guys, so if you're ready, I'm ready. If everybody out there is ready, let's give it a shot. What do you think, guys?
Yep.
I don't know. Are you ready?
I'm ready as ever.
Well, then let's go.
All right, well, let's do it. All right, everybody, let's take a listen to the songs on Today MSI. Here is song number 1 right now.
Leave it where it was. Golden and untouched. Know that there's enough room in it for love. Listen up now for the sweetest word you ever heard. Time to fly now, so I'm giving back the bird. Aim your satellite. Limitless and high. Radiant undenied. 'Cause I
Yeah, I like this. It's that sort of that American sort of pop rock sound, bands like Semisonic and people like that. Intro was nice, very clean guitar, vocals sitting very, very nicely. Very good performance on the vocals as well, I like the guy's voice. I mean, overall, the mix was very good, but from a personal opinion, and this purely is a personal thing, I found the drum mix was very loose. The drums needed tightening. Dave will be able to tell us a bit more probably on that, whether it's actually tightening the heads on the drums or adding more compression in the mix. But I found, that especially the toms and the bass drum were a bit flappy. I found there was too much reverb on some of the heavier guitars as well. It just set them back a bit too much. They need to be drier. And my biggest criticism was I found the harmonies were a bit buried. There were some really nice harmony parts going on there, supporting that really strong lead vocal. But they were just pushed back in the mix. I mean, the mix was very good. It was very crisp. It was very strong, and it works for what it is. But these little sort of things are personal opinions that I think need looking at. The dynamics of the whole track was good. The performances all around were very, very good. I mean, it was a very standard arrangement. It's a very done before poppy rock song. But yeah, this should be on the radio, and they should get out there. It's a good song. It's quite hooky. The lyrics were quite good. Overall, pretty strong track. Play it today. Don't throw it away.
Well, I agree with a lot of what Ian said. I think the weakest link is the drumming. I think it's more the drummer than the mix or anything like that. Some people have a light touch. I think the touch was a little bit too light. I understand what they were going for, or at least I think I understand what they were going for. You know, they wanted to keep a light touch overall on the song. The production is, is very well done. Good vocal performance. I again still will always want a louder vocal. It did sit good in the mix for the most part, but I agree with Ian on the harmonies, and that means you got to bring everything up. I would have liked a stronger vocal sound, and again, this, as Ian says, is a personal opinion. It was a good performance. I'm wanting to hear, a more intimate vocal. I think would have added a lot to the song. It was there. It was a good performance, but it just wasn't intimate enough, and that's a recording thing. But overall, it meets the standards as far as I can tell for professionally done, radio ready. I think the song was a little weak. I mean, the guitar in the beginning, the opening was very nice. I just think the song was a little on the weak side for my taste. But that's purely personal opinion from me, and, take it or leave it. Slap me.
And I think we'll take it. I appreciate it, Tom. Thank you so much, sir. And let's find out what Dave thought about it. I know Dave had a couple of minor glitches with the audio. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, I had a typical problem with can't finding the right button at the right time.
It happens. It happens. Just
typical drummer.
It's typical, isn't it? Just straight in like a thug, like with a sledgehammer.
Just
sorry about that. So I just hit it. Yeah, and I was hitting it hard. I came in about a minute into the song. First 5 seconds, very first thing I read under say sorry for play buttons was Manic Street Preachers. Don't know if they hit over in America very much. I'm not sure. Probably Ian will tell me that. But what do you reckon, Ian? Do you reckon that Manic Street Preachers?
I can hear that influence. Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Sounds good and balanced. in my ears, for what I heard. As far as the drums, yeah, the drum playing, a bit busy, could have been cleaner. Less is more in songs like this. I can see where they were going. I can see what was going on. Yes, a bit more punch, but then again, I don't know, Tom, if it's correct, the drummer might have been dropped down in the mix a little bit to take it, because you guys have that control to drop him back a bit. The drum tone, either he needs new heads, always a bone of contention. When you go into recording a track, you must put new heads on your kit and tune it up. It must sound its best. It's what you're going to do. You're going to put this down for a lifetime. There's no point going in there with heads that have got 10 gigs on them. Either that, or they were slapped with moon gel or gaffer tape. Both of my banes. I just hate both of them. Drums should sound open and warm and big, and then let the engineers, gate it and everything else and compress it in. Tight band. Well rehearsed, good song, pleasant to hear, and as others have said, yeah, it should be on the radio.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Dave. Thank you so much. And for everybody's information, as we do every week, let's introduce the song to you. The song was called "Giving Back the Bird" by EZTiger Music. EZTiger Music, Giving Back the Bird. Thanks a lot, guys, for sending that into MSI. Now, guys, we got another song coming your way. Dave, push that button that works, okay?
Yeah, we'll do it with the top one. I'm pushing the top button.
All right, let's go ahead and take a listen then to song number 2 and see what you guys think about it.
Enough of this town started bringing me down. I'm not inclined to stick around, and that's okay because I'm running out of money anyway. Can't handle the smoke as I'm starting to choke. I fear that life is but a joke. I might be laughing on the other side of town. Who's gonna fleece me on a Friday? Who's gonna offer me cheap scum? My way. Whenever I get drunk. Goodbye London, goodbye rainy Southend Green, goodbye Camden, goodbye dodgy Thai cuisine. Gonna miss you, you always make me feel 15. Goodbye London, I won't forget that you were always good to me. Doris dying of freak, she hasn't slept in a week. The situation's not unique. I've got the flu, the rent is due, and all my plans are falling through. Can't take any more, 1984. It's like Big Brother's at the door. Got called Karen, now they want £100. Who's gonna mug me for my mobile? Who's gonna spare me for some change? Who's gonna show me I can still smile when everything's deranged? Goodbye London, goodbye rainy Southend Green, goodbye Kenwood, and all the puddles in between. Sad to leave you, you always know just what I mean. Goodbye London, I won't forget that you were always good to me. Hello blue skies, goodbye troubles unforeseen. I'll always everything that you could be. Goodbye, London. I won't forget that you were always good to me.
There's song number 2 on today's MSI, and we'll go straight to Tom and find out his thoughts on number 2. Tom?
I liked it, except for the intro. Something was a little confusing for me in the intro of the song. But outside of that, love the various background parts. The vocals sat nice. The vocal mix was really pretty decent. You know, I mean, you could hear all the different vocal parts. Nice guitar sound in the solo. I don't know if I would have kept the oohs and the ahs in over the guitar solo. It's a personal taste thing there. I might have left it out and kept it pure guitar, but you know, because it was a good solo, and the ahs and stuff is a little distracting. But again, it's a matter of personal taste. Nicely mixed, nicely produced. Again, like I said, I really like the use of the vocals and the producing of the background vocals, and it reminds me of a few groups, none whose names come to mind right now, but yeah, I liked it, and I think it was a little bright and a little thin overall. That's my only concern. It could have been a little bit warmer, a little bit rounder. But again, you know, by the time it gets mastered and whatever, all that can change. You know, that's a mastering thing. But overall, I liked it.
All right, radio today or trash tomorrow?
I would definitely, you know, listen to this on the radio more than once.
All right, sounds good, Tom. Thank you very much. Let's talk to Dave, find out what he thought. Dave, your thoughts on number 2?
Yeah, my very first word so it picks up on what Tom's just said. Tinny. Just need, I don't know, just felt very, very... as you said, bright. Just needed more sort of bottom end probably somewhere. But anyway, that's just a production thing. Get over that. Bit of a California vibe going on. Not strictly to it though. But what I picked up on was where I hail from. All that many years ago. Late 70s, 80s mod vibe. And I've written a couple of bands here I sort of hanged around with back then. The Chords and the Lambrettas. I don't know if you picked them up over in the States, but Ian might have done. Might remember them.
I didn't pick them up in the States. I heard them over here.
Yeah. It had that kind of thing going on in areas, certain parts. Perfectly all right, perfectly fine. I'll keep sound like I repeat myself, but a bit busy on the drums. But hey, you know, that might be the vibe they want. But I would put less is more again. Yeah, as far as it felt like it needed more bass in the mix, and this I agree with. Actually, I'm going to embarrass a friend of mine who's on Facebook because I was that interested. I sort of went off to Facebook. Steve Mabber is a bass player. We just re-linked up from when we did a theatre tour show, 60s group called the Angelettes, girl-fronted and boy band on stage. And he's going to be really embarrassed now because he's watching this and I've just name-checked him. So, Steve, there you go, mate. Drop him a line. You can have your bass talents put on. It's a very good bass player, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, very good song. Again, reminded me of that 70s, 80s mod vibe. Would I listen to it again? Yeah, if it was produced a bit more. And he's just said, git, LOL.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Ian, what do you think of number 2?
I love this. Up London. Yeah, I mean, it has got that sort of moddy feel, but I think that is coming back into sort of popular music now in England, especially in sort of pop music. So I think it's very relevant for now. Mix-wise, I did find the drums sounded great, but I did felt they dominated the mix a little bit too much, which especially put the rhythm guitars, they set them back a little bit much against the drums. And the lead guitar solo, as well as it was nicely performed, I felt it was over-compressed and too loud in the mix. It just really sort of took out in that mix and sort of blew my head off a little bit. Wasn't ready for that. But, I mean, the whole song grabbed me from the first drum roll. I didn't find anything wrong with the intro, personally. It just took me from there and went straight in. I love the guy's vocals, good character about it. And the whole song's got this sort of good time feeling. It just sort of made you smile. And listening to the lyrics, I mean, stuff that I can personally relate to. I'm a London boy, spent time in Camden, a lot of the places he name-checked in the track. You know, lines like, who's going to offer me cheap skunk? You know, things like the dodgy Thai food and having the flu and the CCTV, stuff that you know is always going on in London. So I loved all the little references. It's definitely a song I can relate to. I agree with Tom that the use of the backing vocals, the U's, the R's and everything was really, really nice, well placed in the mix and very well done. And this is just a good bit of songwriting. It's simple, but it's really effective. I mean, it's nothing genius. It's simple chord progressions. It's a simpler standard arrangement for a pop sort of rock song, but it works. It makes you want to listen. My only real bugbear was the outro. Didn't need to drop into that acoustic guitar. Certainly didn't need to drop into that acoustic guitar and fade out. You know, again,
Fade
it's
outs.
like,
Yeah, we love it.
it's just, a drummer can't. They don't know how to fade out. But
Yes,
you know,
we
when
do.
you're playing,
Yes, we do. I'm going to fight you.
1, 2, 3, 4, bang, end. That's the drummer's fade out. You know, but that's what it is when you're playing live. I keep coming back to this. I don't like fade outs because when you're in a band, you've got to finish that song on stage and you can't fade it out. Otherwise, I really liked it. Everything was brilliant. Mix was generally good. Songwriting was fantastic. Lyrics were genius. And overall, well mixed, well produced. And this should go on the radio.
All right. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Ian. Now, gentlemen, as always, we have 3 tracks in a show. But before we get to the third one, I just want to give a quick shout-out to our friends over at Butterflies Radio. Mark and Carol were out at the Indie Awards in L.A. Here last month, and glad they made it home. Did we win anything? No, we didn't win anything at all. We weren't nominated first, so we can't win.
No.
You know. But
Carol's actually tweeted us. She's listening in the meat room.
Oh, is she? Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear she's listening. So we're glad that she made it home back to Australia without any problems. We're glad Mark's getting over his cold, and we want to encourage you as indie artists or indie music lovers to tune in to Twitter Tuesday Live every Tuesday night over at butterfliesradio.com, where they interview indie artists. In fact, they interview indie associated people. We were interviewed. We're just associated. We're not well, at least not MSI as an artist, but we had a great time with those guys and really appreciate everything they do for the indie scene, and hope you enjoy them as well. Now, guys, I said we had 3 songs, and we certainly do, so put your headphones back on, and let's give a listen to number 3 after I listen to Tom.
I'm very sorry to interrupt you.
That's
but
all right.
Did you mention the name of the group for number 2?
I did not. Thank you, Tom. You're good. See, I try and slide one by Tom every once in a while, and he catches me, so I'm glad you caught that, Tom. Let me throw up number 2's credentials. Song number 2 was called Goodbye London by Luke Jackson. Luke Jackson and Goodbye London. We appreciate the fact that they sent that in to us. Good catch, by the way, Tom.
Thank you.
Well, you know, you do good every once in a while. So that's always
It's amazing how good he is when he's not on the drugs.
It's true. All right, gentlemen, as I said, we have a third song to take a listen to. So here we go with song number 3 on today's MSI.
To know when you get there, you'll feel it when it's real enough, you'll know it's true. Just out of reach until you're there, the path we choose, the journey to where, you know it's alright to be afraid, 'cause we're not alone, not alone. And as we travel on, we'll grow up soon, we'll shed a tear. We're unstoppable now, the victory, we'll see it through. We arrive as one, do we grow apart? The road we're on our way, aware of the truth, the innocence, the joy of you. Just out of reach until you're there, the path we choose, the journey to where, you know it's alright to be afraid, 'cause we're not alone, not alone, not alone. We are never alone, we'll always be, but not too much. Whether or not, weather the storm strong.
There you have song number 3 on today's MSI. And we're going to go straight to Dave for his thoughts on number 3. Dave, your thought?
Pleasant song. Very. Well, I made a few notes. Sort of Bruce Springsteen-y sort of comes to mind, especially in the part of the song. Cheesy sort of American thingy going on. I've heard it 1,000 times on Elements, and We're Not Alone. I'm sure that's what it's called, is it?
It's called Not Alone, yeah.
Yeah. Surprise. How many times can you repeat the same lyric? You know. Sounded good. I put my finger to my ears this time to see if I get a bit more bass tone out of these headphones. So these are cheap headphones, I must admit. It sounded okay. Sounded balanced. A few points in the vocal on the higher parts, on a bit breaking going on. I think you guys probably know a bit more than me. But you know, reasonably pleasant. I've heard this kind of thing before. It's really summed it up, really, Rich.
All right. Well, Dave, I appreciate it. Let's go over and talk to Ian, find out what he thought. Ian, thoughts on number 3?
I sat here, played the button, went, I know this track. I know this track. And then it suddenly struck me that this has been submitted before. And then I thought, hang about, has Rich made a cock up here? And then I realised that they've added a vocal to an instrumental track that has been submitted in the past.
At the recommendation of the panelist.
At the recommendation of the panelist, that's what I was going to say. Which is a good start. Unfortunately, I don't think this was the vocal to add. I felt the timing was sloppy. And the timing and the phrasing of the lyrics didn't hit with some of the beats and the arrangement of the track. It did sound like that added some low-end strings runs in places and stuff like that as well. But overall, I mean, that vocal performance needs work. It also sounds like that vocal was tacked on top of the finished mix of the instrumental rather than being mixed as a whole. It stood out distinctly from the rest of the track. The instrumental track is really well mixed and really well performed, and that vocal just isn't sitting right. It's just not gelling with the rest of the track. I think it's different use of reverbs maybe. It needs to be mixed back in with all of the tracks of the instrumental at the same time. As I said, the instrumental is a good mix overall, and I remember saying that beforehand. Again, it's 2 minutes long. This needs maybe a late adding. It needs maybe a double chorus in places. Take it out to about 3.5 minutes, because it did leave me wanting more. I wanted to hear where it was going to go, especially having heard it before as an instrumental. I thought they might have worked up that and taken it a bit longer, added the extra parts, but they didn't. So, yeah, I think this still needs work. Nice effort, but get that vocal sitting properly. Concentrate on the timing and the performance. The performance could be better on that vocal.
All right. Appreciate it, Ian. Thank you very much. And Tom, what do you think of number 3 there?
Well, I think Ian's got a great memory, and I didn't recognize the underlying track as hearing it before, but I do agree with him that the vocals seemed laid on. The vocals were too thin. I think that was the main problem, and they didn't sit right because the track is a full track. One thing I may have mentioned before was the kick could have been a little tighter, a little bit lower in the mix. I mean, I like being able to hear every hit of the kick in general, but not to the point of distraction. The track is crowded to me, and it comes to mind, and definitely there was an unbalance there, an imbalance there between the vocals and the track. Like the track had a little too much going on. Too short, definitely 2 minutes is good for 1960. We're in the new millennium. You're allowed to go over 3 minutes. And it just, the vocal performance was so-so, and it just, again, it was a little thin sounding, and I think that was making it, I don't know whether they remixed the whole track or just laid the vocal on top, or nowadays when things are mixed in the box, they just press a button, bring up the same mix, you know, out of the stereo bus, and then somebody sings, and then they just go from there. So whether it's mixed that way or they just took the stereo mix and laid the vocals on it, it definitely needs more work.
All right. I appreciate that, Tom. And let me introduce the track to you. Track number 3 was a track which, as Ian stated, has been heard on MSI before. The track is called Not Alone, as Dave deduced, and it's by Tzuriel Kastel, and he submitted that track without the vocal on it at one point, and the panelist readily suggested he put vocal on it, so we appreciate the fact that he resubmitted it with vocal. Thank you very much. Now, gentlemen, you, as always, have the duty to figure out what you'd like to have as Song of the Week, and I hate to say it, but that's one of the camera shots that I did not make up yet, so I get to watch over your arguments today. So, what Song of the Week should it be? 1, 2, or 3?
You're looking down on us like some sort of musical judging god.
That's the idea.
Don't
It's judgment
sneeze,
day,
whatever
people.
you do.
All hail the rich.
Yeah.
No, we're the 99%. They're the one. No, we're the one. However it works, you know. Don't want to hail the rich. That's just wrong.
Yeah, the bankers. I said bankers.
Well,
All right, thoughts on Song of the Week?
I would go for number 2. I really liked the background arrangement. It caught my ear. Number 1 was a little too melodramatic if I had to quote it up into one word. Number 2 was full sounding, better mixed, and again, it was a good feeling track, and why wouldn't I want to feel good?
So what one was that again?
2.
Number 2. Okay, Dave, Ian.
Go on, Dave.
Go on, Ian.
All right, then. Oh, I agree with Tom, quite simply. I mean, just also looking at the guys in the chat, everyone's quoting the lyrics from that song. And for me, that really was a big winner. The lyrical quality, the songwriting quality of that song was just brilliant. The other 2, I mean, all the tracks were of quite good levels this week. It was nice to see. But 2, it was quirky, it was fun, it was uplifting. It not only was a good song and well written, it was well produced, well mixed, as just as good as the others were. So 2 wins it for me.
All right, number 2 for Ian. Dave?
We don't really need to hear Dave, and thank you very much for being with us.
See you again.
He's got them sliders again.
I'm going down a pub. It's an easy one, really. Number 2, for a lot of reasons. It was the most jolly of the songs. We need a bit of jolliness these days. Bit of reminiscence for me, because it sounded from the period from where I'm from, where most of my stuff was done. And it's London, for God's sake. And I'm in London. I'm a Londoner. Hey, it's got London in the title. Come on. You know, must have known that I was coming on this week.
That may have very well been. So across the board we have it. It's number 2, Goodbye London by Luke Jackson as this week's Song of the Week. We again appreciate all those musicians for sending their tracks in and running them through the MSI labs, and you'll be able to hear them on MSI Radio a little later on. Dave, we definitely want to thank you for joining us this week. We really appreciate the fact you took time out of your busy schedule.
Hey, no problem. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
And, we're going to be watching the Olympics very closely and looking for Carrera Drums and, of course, that big Carrera tattoo.
Hey, don't worry. If I get it on the TV, I will stop it, freeze frame it, and then it'll be blasted everywhere on Facebook, on the internet. I'll be wearing a T-shirt next time you invite me on MSI. Oh, it'll be everywhere. Don't worry.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to it. Again, we thank you for joining us. We thank our in-house panelists and everybody out there for watching as well. And Ian,
Who got next week?
Next week, why don't you tell us who we got? I know he's right there near you.
Well, he's going to be in my living room, to be honest.
I know.
We're doing the broadcast together. We're being joined by John Schroeder, who is Ivor Novello Award-winning songwriter for people like Helen Shapiro. He's produced for Status Quo, as well as being an artist in his own right. And he's going to come and join me in my living room for MSI with a glass of whiskey.
And we're definitely looking forward to that. We hope you come back and sit in with us on that show again next Sunday. Also want to invite you to Indie Inquest on Wednesday afternoons, and that's at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time and 10:30 p.m. GMT. And you can catch that on MSI Radio. Head on over to the MSI site. You can find it there. But for now, we're going to play out with Goodbye London by Luke Jackson right here on MSI. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you again next week.
I've had enough of this town, it started bringing me down. I'm not inclined to stick around, and that's okay, because I'm running out of money anyway. Can't handle the smoke as I'm starting to choke. I feel that life is but a joke. I might be laughing high cuisine. I'm gonna miss you. You always make me feel 15. Goodbye, London. I won't forget that you were always good to me. Doris dying of freak, she hasn't slept in a week. The situation's not unique. I've got the flu, the rent is due, and all my plans are falling through. Can't take any more. 1984, it's like Big Brother's at the door. Got call Karen, now they want to hunt through town. Who's gonna mug me for my mobile? Who's gonna spare me for some change? Who's gonna show me I can still smile when everything's deranged? Goodbye, London. Goodbye, rainy South End Green. Goodbye, Kenwood, and all the puddles in between. Sad to leave you. You always know just what I mean. Goodbye, London. I won't forget that you were always good to me. Goodbye, London. Goodbye, dismal golden green. Hello, blue skies. Goodbye, troubles unforeseen. I'll always love you and everything